particularly Black Chicago, right? Because, we know that other administrations have been very hostile towards Black existence in this city. Making sure that we're raising the wages of Black folks in particular, we have demonstrated unequivocally our love for Black people. I think it's always appropriate to make sure that we're investing in small businesses, especially minority-owned, Black-owned, women-owned businesses. We support Black and brown-owned businesses. Go get your hair and makeup done by Black people in particular.
But you can't run from our question today because we got Marianne Ahern in the house.
All right.
She'll get Christy Love with it, point her little mic at you and say, "Freeze, sugar, you under news arrest." It seems like you're mad.
That was from a recent press conference with Chicago's racist mayor, Brandon Johnson. He was asked about a report that said he spent over $30,000 in campaign funds for hair and makeup.
Last August, when we spoke to Mayor Brandon Johnson in a one-on-one interview, his makeup artist prepped him before we asked questions. Johnson is paying his makeup artist through his campaign donors. Likewise, this hair salon in Austin is also paid with campaign funds. It's just 3 doors from his former county commission office. Johnson has expensed more than $32,000 from January of 2023 through the end of March of this year. Campaign records show the makeup artist was paid $28,000, the hair salon $4,000.
I would be hard-pressed to say grooming is part of your governmental functions. That's not a function of government to look good.
Bert Olson is an attorney who specializes in election law. So does Michael Dorf.
The key is the law does not prohibit expenditures for grooming expenses, and it is absolutely clear that how you look is at least as important as what you say in any political situation.
The Illinois State Board of Elections says, quote, "If you're making an appearance as mayor of Chicago and you hire a makeup and hair artist for the event, that would most likely be a legitimate use. But if you're using them for a strictly social event, there might be a stronger grounds for a complaint. You also can't pay more than fair market value for goods and services."
Of course, because Johnson is a race-obsessed mayor, he didn't really answer the question. He just said that he was using those campaign funds to help Black people.
Let me ask you another question. There will be the awkward elephant in the room, and that is about the Sun-Times story last week about your spending of $30,000 from your campaign fund for hair and makeup. Can you respond to that and explain why you think that's an appropriate use of the campaign dollars to many people seems like a lot of money?
I think it's always appropriate to make sure that we're investing in small businesses, especially minority-owned, Black-owned, women-owned businesses. Our campaign spends money on food. We support Black and brown-owned businesses, women-owned businesses, printing. There are a number of things that my campaign spends dollars on. And I'm so committed to supporting small businesses that even as mayor, just made another announcement of another $35 million available for small businesses. That's important to people, that we lift up, small businesses that, in particular, that don't always get the attention and support that they deserve it. And so we're going to continue to do that as a city, and we'll make sure that, I encourage all of you in this room, support small businesses. Go get your hair and makeup done by Black people in particular.
Johnson is not the first Chicago mayor to have a hair scandal. Back during the COVID days, when the tyrannical governments around the country were much more in the open about their tyranny.
The time for educating people into compliance is over. We will shut you down, we will cite you, and if we need to, we will arrest you and we will take you to jail.
While Lori Lightfoot imposed draconian lockdowns and was threatening to have people arrested for going outside during COVID, she was breaking her own rules and getting her hair done at a salon. When she got called out on it, she said that it was okay because she's in the public eye and that she takes her hygiene very seriously, which is a perfect example of
rules for thee, but not for me. The height of hypocrisy.
The data shows that social distancing works. Please pay attention. Stay home, save lives. Debbie, getting your roots done is not essential.
Mayor Lori Lightfoot has been adamant that people stay home and socially distance for weeks. But a social media post from the woman who cut her hair this weekend has some wondering if the mayor is saying one thing and doing another.
I want to show you that post. This is it right here. In it, the stylist thanks the mayor for allowing her to cut her hair Sunday. That's yesterday. And in the photo, the two are standing what appears to be inches apart from each other without masks.
The mayor was asked at least twice about the haircut this afternoon.
I'm out in the public eye, and I'm a person who I take my personal hygiene very seriously. As I said, I felt like I needed to have a haircut. I'm not able to do that myself, and so I got a haircut.
After celebrating his discrimination of white-owned businesses, Johnson went on to advocate for reparations in the city, and he was asked about city spending on shelters for illegal immigrants while he deflected about transparency in his administration.
These lots will be available for $1. It's going to put families in homes in North Lawndale and Inglewood and Roseland. That's a step in the direction that the people of Chicago have been longing for, particularly Black Chicago, right? Because we know that other administrations have been very hostile towards Black existence in this city, whether it's the shuttering of schools, public housing, creating these deserts. Quite frankly, these were policy decisions, whether it's selling off the Skyway, the parking meter, the Bad Bears deal. We owe $600 million on a building that there's no public benefit for. I mean, taking airports in the middle of the night, raiding pensions. Previous administrations have been quite raggedy. We're cleaning up the bowels of the city council, city hall. We're just gonna stay there for a few more minutes. You started it.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, before I launch into my incredibly quick and few questions, I believe I speak for the entire City Hall press corps as well as the Deep South press corps in thanking you and Alderman Mosley for getting that ceiling painted so we don't have any more chips falling on us.
It was the least we can do.
I also want to put you on notice that you can't run from our questions today because we got Marianne Ahern in the house.
All right.
She'll get Christy Love with it, point her little mic at you and say, "Freeze, sugar, you under news arrest." So anyway, first question. So you've been getting the Casper the Unfriendly Ghost treatment lately, as in a lot of booing. What have you learned from that?
What do you mean? What do you mean? Booing.
The boos you got from anywhere from the House Festival to that event over on the West Side where Danny Davis introduced you and everybody was visibly going boo.
Oh, wow. I didn't hear that.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Well, now that we've told you that happened, it was very audible on YouTube.
Okay.
What would you learn from that, or what do you think you should learn from that?
I'm the mayor of Chicago. If I wake up in the morning and no one's mad at me, it means I'm no longer mayor.
Well, it seems like you're mad.
Okay, you get one more,
Okay.
Mark. All right.
Just one more? Okay.
Yes.
So, you all, I believe, have passed a resolution for $500,000 to study reparations. There is a petition drive to collect petition signatures for a November 5th ballot initiative that would establish reparations for descendants of those who were in chattel slavery, who were freed by the 13th Amendment. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, thank you for that question. Look, not only did we put forth $500,000 for this commission, we're staffing it. I support and believe in reparations, period. Descendants of slaves. Mark, I'm going to answer your question. Mark, you got to give me a chance to answer the question, okay? All right, let's keep some decorum here a little bit. I support reparations, right? It's going to take the full city council vote to be able to move on an agenda of what reparations should look like, right? Me supporting reparations, I need support of the city council. We also get to take this measure to the community, to people to talk about not just the harm, but what does that repair look like? Now, here's what we're doing in the meantime. A $1.25 billion bond for economic neighborhood housing, particularly in the neighborhoods where disinvestment has taken place. $250 million to address the unhoused, making sure that we're raising the wages of Black folks in particular, but Black and brown women. I mean, with the strength of my office, we have demonstrated unequivocally our love for Black people. And this reparations commission gives us an opportunity to expand that love beyond the fifth floor, because I'm going to need the full city council to support whatever measures we come up with to make sure that we repair the harm that has been done by, of course, colonization, not just here in this country, but globally.
We're in a different space with the migrant mission now, as families have left some of the shelters. A number of those have been closed, but there's still a number of costs associated with the migrant mission. The city's website shows that $400 million have been spent so far over the past 2 years or so. But what we don't have from that is sort of a full accounting of where all those dollars have gone. And there's a recent lawsuit that spells out that some of the property owners of these migrant shelters are getting $150,000 a month. So I've heard you say previously that your administration is transparent. If that's the case, why not share that level of detail on the website?
Well, first of all, those numbers that you are calculating are attached to state and federal pass-throughs that allow for this mission to be carried out. The particular spending that we have done around this mission, just city tax dollars, those numbers have to be parsed out. And that's available on the website if you want to, separate those. We have given an accurate account of how dollars have been spent.
That's it? Is there anything that would preclude your administration from sharing that level of detail?
There's no information that has been kept from you. All the information that is available to you of how we have spent on this mission is available to you. Look, you also have to keep in mind, though, that when I took office, we had to renegotiate a number of contracts that I inherited, saving the taxpayers over $200 million just on this mission. Here's the harsh reality. The federal government, the Congress, has to respond to this crisis, and they have not. Here's another way in which we can ask these questions. How long will municipalities be asked to stand up an international crisis that requires a federal response? Every single dollar that has been spent, you can find it on the website. And if you want some more time to dig through those particular appropriation items, perhaps we can have a follow-up conversation to give you some more clarity and understanding so that you can, comprehend how we're actually spending those dollars. But that information is available to you, sir.
Not all of it, though, is, sir. I mean, that's
Can you
the point.
give me a specific example of what's not available?
The Ogden shelter in the West Loop, that's what is spelled out in this lawsuit, that they get $150,000 just for being the property owner per month. Nowhere is that available on the city's spending website. My question, again, is simply, is there anything that would preclude you from including that level of detail? You guys have said you're transparent. Why not show it?
All of the information related to the spending to this mission is available.
As I think it was President Reagan said, we're from the government. We're here to help.